if monogamy means you got to meet my sex drive needs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I am Forever Patra Denise, and this here is my sweet tea. Just because it's tea does not mean it's gossip. Hey, y'all, let's get right into it. I'm doing a reaction video to one of my favorite, and I mean favorite, black couples. When I say black love, relationship goals, bae goals, I mean wife goals, husband goals, like across the board. Like they are definitely like just goals. I mean, people be like, "Ooh, Jay-Z and Beyonce goals." That ain't my goals. This is goals, and I'm not saying that I even want to be like them, but I definitely see them as the top tier goals when it comes to relationships. And this is none other than Khadeen and Devale Ellis. I am doing a reaction video to their podcast. Is called DeadAss PodCast. They are from New York, and period.
Based on our marriage laws and the contract we signed with each other,
right,
to have sex with anybody else,
right.
So these urges that come, I have to share them with the one person I decide to spend the rest of my life with.
Right.
So that brings me back to my soundbite.
Okay.
Right. I don't understand, and this we can discuss. As a woman, because I don't want to say it's a man versus woman thing, but a lot of women do complain, "Oh, my husband's always on me. Why is he always on me?" If sex is going to be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time just wanting you, why do you push monogamy on men?
Well,
So I agree with what he's saying. Most men, I would say all men, and if I'm wrong, comment down below, have a very high sex drive. So if you're not willing to bust it wide open, on a regular basis, if that's 2-3 times a week, and if his sex drive is 2 to 3 times a day, or find a way to release himself without cheating with another human being, then I guess you can't, what they say, you can't want monogamy without your husband want to bust it wide open with you, because you're the one he is, especially if that's your husband, you're the one he's supposed to bust it wide open with.
I pushed anything on anybody. Like,
well, we know that you pushed monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. I forced you to get married.
Sorry, y'all. Come on, wait a minute. He says she pushed monogamy on him, and I think that happens a lot. And you gotta understand, like, I don't see them as beefing. I've been married 8 years, been my husband 12 years, and they've been, I think, 17 or 18 years they've been together, and they've been married for 10. So I haven't been together total as long as they have, but I've been married as almost just as long as they have. So it's kind of like saying, like, she gave him an ultimatum to an extent, even though it was just her desires.
Time out. I didn't say you forced me to get married, but did you not say to me that you wanted to be engaged and you wanted to be married before you live with me?
I want $1 billion. That don't mean I'm going to get it. I can want something, but not...
You right now, you're dodging the question.
Nobody pressed you to do it. Yes, is that something I wanted? Yes, it was. But
you didn't press me. Are you gonna lie now to the people because we talking about sex? You're gonna lie now to the people?
Devale, knowing
Khadeen, you didn't want monogamy?
Of course I did.
So then why are you avoiding the question?
That's not avoiding the question. I'm saying, does that mean because I wanted and I requested that you were gonna deliver it? Like, no.
If a female, okay, go back a little bit. When a man is not truthful, not real about, oh, he has several different women, and a female doesn't know that, let her know, hey, you're not the only person I dating. You feel upset because she's not truthful with you. He's not truthful with you, right? So vice versa, on the woman's perspective, using marriage and monogamy, if she's not clear on, okay, she wants to get married, but then, she wants to get married, she wants to have monogamy, engage before, X, Y, and Z happens, then you don't know that these things are supposed to happen. But she put a knife to your head, or there's not a knife, a gun to your head saying, you better marry me. No, she's saying this was the desire. This was her desire. And if you want us to be together long term, this is my needs, this is how my needs need to be met. Nobody forced nobody to do anything.
Pressed you for that?
Talking about, you just said you wanted it and requested it. Do you not hear yourself?
I can make a request. Is the request going to be granted?
Am I not granting you monogamy?
You are granting it to me.
So this is my question.
Look at your boy. Look at your boy.
This is my question. If you wanted monogamy,
okay,
why would you want monogamy if sex is a chore for you? That's the question. You're avoiding the question.
I'm not avoiding the question, but at first you said women, or in general me specifically, are pushing monogamy on somebody. Okay, yes, that's something that I wanted, but I didn't press you for it and be like, Devale, I'm gonna hold a gun to your head to propose to me.
Yeah, nah, just say that. She expressed her wants and her needs. So if he turned around and did it, that doesn't mean that now you got to say, oh, well, you want a monogamy, so now you need to bust it wide open when I choose to. It definitely has to be a compromise. You proposed to her because you wanted to, not because that was her request. Well, partly because of her request, but more because it was a you thing, not a her thing.
Also, let me finish. Also, I don't feel like I was adequately prepared for marriage. And I've said that before, because if I knew that marriage and monogamy was going to involve me trying to meet you where you were at sexually for years to come, then I probably would have reevaluated it if I wanted to be monogamous anyway.
So that
excuse me. I totally agree. I totally agree. I definitely feel like I was not prepared for marriage. And I know that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to learn, but I was not prepared for marriage. And I have been married for 8 years. I was not prepared for marriage. I was not prepared for the I get, how you just gotta upkeep things and kind of keep everything above. I just was not prepared for. I mean, obviously he has a high sex drive, so using that as an example, all men has a high sex drive. I wasn't prepared for that either. I wasn't prepared to just be busting around open all the time, because most women don't have a very high. Now they have a sex drive, definitely, but it's not like high like men. Men could want to penetrate your loins multiple times a day and get off multiple times a day. I definitely wasn't prepared either.
Yeah, but we're not even talking about marriage. Let's even talk about dating, right?
Okay.
Two people are dating. Typically, in society, who asks for exclusivity first? A woman or a man?
A man.
I would say a woman.
Thank you. That was my whole point. You were going all over the place. If women typically ask for exclusivity first,
to be
then
exclusive,
when they get exclusivity, say, he always on me, he always want to have sex. Why are we asking men for exclusivity if we do not want to participate in sex at the same level as men?
Why does sex and exclusivity have to be hand in hand? Because technically, excuse me, if you abide by the, how God sees, not how God sees, but what's stated in the Bible. If you abide by what's stated in the Bible, you don't have sex until you get married. Anyway, that's obviously, that doesn't always happen. But if you abide by that, this is the reason why that people say, like, you're supposed to wait until you get married, because you don't really know what you want. Y'all work those kinks out together. Obviously, they have had sex before they get married. I had sex before I got married because I had a whole son before I came to the relationship with my husband. So you don't have anything else to compete with, right? And so why does exclusivity meet or equal we're gonna have sex on a regular basis? Why does that mean exclusive mean that you're gonna commit to me? Why does committing to you mean that I'm gonna have sex with you when we're just dating?
To think about what that does to a man, and I don't think that's being that conversation is being had.
Okay, I agree, and that part I agree with. Yes, that women are typically the ones that will ask for the exclusivity. I get that. Yes, but what I'm saying is, me as a woman, I don't think that I was necessarily prepared or in the mindset to know that. It's almost like once you get into it, then you're like, oh shoot, like this is what I'm going to have to keep up with.
I get that.
Us speaking as 36-year-old people know that now. Had I known that at 26,
I get that.
I would have to contend with that. Even in the dating realm, then it might have been something I would have reevaluated. So
now let's go back to what you asked me.
She definitely speaking and dropping jewels. Okay, she's definitely speaking and dropping jewels. She is. It's kind of like if I knew back then what I knew now scenario, y'all know people say that, you definitely would have, I would have done things differently. And so I agree. Women don't realize how much stuff that they have to deal with as a wife. And I don't mean as a negative thing. I'm just saying overall what's all on the plate until they're in it. And that's to me is why divorce rate is really high, and there's single, a lot of single mamas and things like that, because the man, and from a man perspective, like they can't handle it a lot of times and things like that. So women have to kind of deal with it. They just got to deal with it. On a man's perspective of this type of being exclusive or being monogamous, like, I guess I want to know, why is it so difficult to detach monogamy and sex? Why is it one and the same? That's what I want to know.
To me, you never pressured me to get married. In 2007, we were living together, right? Mm-hmm. You said you no longer wanted to live up with me and shack up with me because you wanted to be my wife, not my girlfriend.
Right, because I wanted to know where
that
the relationship was going.
That don't sound like pressure to you?
He right. It's an ultimatum. It is an ultimatum. Now, she gave him the ultimatum. That's pretty much what it is. In 2007, or whenever it was, about, hey, I don't want to shack up with you. I want to, where's the relationship going? I want to be married. I want to be engaged. Yada, yada. We living together. We living life like we're married and all this other stuff, but we're not married. Where's the relationship going? Right? But what... Is she supposed to continue to allow this to happen? Would you want your daughter to continue to allow that to happen? You wouldn't.
It sounds like me voicing where I see my life going.
Period.
It sounds like me saying this is what I would like.
It still was the ultimatum.
You can decide to meet me there. If not, we can reevaluate what exactly we're doing.
Okay.
And that's what an ultimatum is. Telling you where I want things to go. And then reevaluating them if they, if you're choosing not to go that way. That's what ultimatum is.
You call it pressure per se? Not necessarily
it's
pressure.
An ultimatum. I agree with him.
It is pressure. But you don't want to say it's pressure. What about being engaged?
You might have felt pressure.
What about being engaged?
Pressure behind it.
I said, we don't got to rush to get married. You said, I don't want to be engaged longer than a year. Is that not pressure?
That's me voicing.
So there's a very thin line between ultimatum, pressure, and just voicing how you feel. Those three things, and you don't even have three legs. It's like your body and your two legs. You're like straddling the fence, and you can't really break even at no point. And it's really hard to decipher between your feelings, pressure, which is a little more heavier than your feelings, and then an ultimatum, which is just like no gray, black or white.
My opinion about it.
Sounds like pressure to me. So you say you want to be engaged, I get engaged. You say you want to be married within a year. We do that. We get married, Then you make it seem like sex is a chore to your husband. Once again, I ask the question, why do women who push forth monogamy on the man they're dating then get overwhelmed when that man who tries to provide that monogamy to you? Why do you get upset when we're trying to be what you want us to be? You don't want me to be with no one else, right? Right? I'm asking. This is a serious question.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't want me to be with no one else.
Right.
Absolutely.
So if I decide that all this testosterone I have, I want to give to you, why is this so overwhelming now? This is what you asked for.
Again, 26 and 27-year-old Khadeen was like, okay, here's the natural succession of life.
Yeah.
You graduate, you're working, you meet somebody,
You
guys
married.
are dating.
Right.
You want children.
Yes.
I want children.
Yes.
We don't want to wait too long or too late to have children.
Yes.
Though now a lot of people are waiting until their 30s to have children.
And I understand why.
And we at that time felt like, well, we're doing everything in this natural succession that the forces that be have given us this timeline. However, I did not realize that after having children, after, career changes, all of the turbulences that we've been through in life, that was going to have a direct effect on my sex drive.
I would switch places with a man any day. Working is not hard. Protecting my family is not hard. To me, that's how I feel, right? And all these things that, the man provide, protect, and all that. I can definitely do all that in my sleep. You be pregnant, you have a monthly period, you have, you nurture and nature the children and all that. You see how different it is. You'll see how different it is. And I know a man could never understand the walk that we have. And I know women could never understand the walk that men have. But this was a very good conversation. I love how they can agree to disagree. Right? Y'all comment down below if you follow them, if you have heard of them, if you watch them. Y'all comment down below if monogamy means you got to meet my sex drive needs. Okay? Y'all, I am Forever Patra Denise, and y'all be sweet.